Hi, I'm Laura Jane, the Rawtarian from therawtarian.com, and today we're going to make a super simple raw recipe, raw vegan recipe called raw white chocolate bars. And it's actually just made from very simple ingredients, predominantly dried shredded white coconut, a little bit of pure vanilla extract, some sea salt, and some maple syrup or your favorite sweetener. So the general concept of what we're going to do is process all of these things. We're going to then and that really is going to constitute white chocolate right there. It is made from coconut, but it definitely has that really nice white chocolate flavor. Then we're going to put it into these silicone chocolate molds. But if you don't have these, you can absolutely just use a big pan or put it down into a big cookie sheet and make a big bar of chocolate too. So without any further ado, we are just going to get started. And the first thing that we're going to do is just put all of the coconut into our food processor. Now, I have a lot of raw food recipes at therawtarian.com, and I don't have videos for all of them, but this recipe I really wanted to make for you, to share it with you, so that you could see how it's done, because I had a lot of people asking me about this part right here, and I'm going to show you the whole thing, because people were thinking, this is so dry, don't we need to add liquid? But really, the instruction is simply to process it and don't add anything. It's going to take quite a while, but as you'll see as we do it, you don't need to add any liquid, and it's going to become a very, this is a weird word to use when thinking of chocolate, but almost like hummus. So just be patient and we'll do it together. At this point, it's just starting to stick together a little bit, so we got to keep going for quite a while. So what you're going to want to do is just let it run, and we'll keep going. Normally I wouldn't keep stopping it, but I just want to keep saying, hi, we're still going. So it still has a ways to go. It's starting to stick together a little bit, but it takes a while. And so we just keep going, and maybe we will speed this up for you. Okay, so this does take definitely a long time, so it's really getting there. Don't know if you can see this, I'll bring a piece out. So it's quite, gotten quite moist and oily. We're gonna let it go a little bit longer. But just while I've got this open, I'm gonna add, I didn't tell you in what I was mouthing to earlier, we had 3 cups of coconut. This is a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. You could use agave nectar or anything else that you like as a sweetener. Honey, yes, a variety of things. This is 1/8 of a teaspoon of Celtic sea salt. And this is the 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. So we're definitely getting close, and we're just gonna finish it up right here. Still not quite ready, but very, very close. I just want to mix it up because sometimes when you're food processing, the ingredients tend to stick to the sides. I'm going to say that this is very close to being done. Totally. It's great. So, is it steaming? I see steam. So, we're done with the food processor. Essentially, we're done. Now, all we're going to be doing is putting those to the side. Not sure if you can see this up close. Maybe I'm going to transfer it to this bowl here. So, just to show you, it's almost looks like if you've ever made shortbread, you know, standard American diet shortbread, it's kind of like has this really buttery, kind of oily feeling. So if I stick it together, see how it's completely, it's released a lot of oils. You can see how my hands are quite oily, and it's totally going to stick together. So this would be easier if we were making it in just a big cookie sheet, even just as a big sheet, but it's definitely more fun to use these molds. And you're just going to push your mixture into the molds. It's a little bit time consuming with these molds, but you don't have to use such tiny ones. But I love to use these ones because they really create individual bite-sized pieces that are really nice as snacks to keep in your freezer. And what else do I like about them? Oh, well, just the fact that they have this really nice indentation, which I'll show you at the end, that really makes it look like a nice chocolate treat. So what I'm probably going to do here is just, well, I'm going to fill up all the molds myself, and then I'm going to be just popping them in the freezer exactly like this in this silicone mold for, I would say, a minimum of 2 hours, and then you're going to leave it in the freezer for as long as you like, so you can't over freeze them. So don't worry if you're making these and then going to bed or something. So what I'm going to do is fill the rest of the molds up, and then I'm going to come back in about 2 hours and show you what the final result was like. It's the next day. I'm in the freezer. I'm getting the raw chocolates. I'm coming towards my spot. Laura Jane, the Rotarian here. We're back. And our raw chocolates, raw white chocolates have been in the freezer actually overnight because it is the next day. However, these do freeze very quickly. So if it was 3 hours later, that would be fine for you. So the silicone has frozen. I forget how to most easily, what do I need to tell you? Nothing. I think because this is a silicone, it is really easy to get out. So all I'm gonna do is pop these little babies. I'll just do a couple and show you. Maybe, can you see? See? Woo! They're there! And that is really all I need to say about the raw white chocolates. So clearly, they are adorable. Don't you love this mold? I love this mold because they look like little chocolates. They are little chocolates. However, what you should know is that at room temperature, they will melt. So really, you need to keep them frozen. You cannot send this in your child's lunchbox to be eaten 8 hours later because it would just melt. Your molds, there's a variety of ways that you could, like molds or pans you could use. Silicone are the easiest to get out, as you can see, so easy. But if you don't have silicone molds, I would definitely recommend just doing it in a big pan and like a cookie sheet, for example, a low cookie sheet, and then you can just take out the big sheet of white chocolate and break it. If you do it nice and skinny, like a chocolate bar, in terms of thickness, then it will be really easy to break. And I believe currently anyway, the pictures in this recipe at therawtarian.com are just not of these little guys. It's just of a big sheet that I did in a glass pan probably. But yeah, isn't this fun? These are so cute. And they really have a nice curb appeal, although this now looks a little disturbing. But aren't they so pretty? And then you could put them like this. And if you would notice, I'm the Rawtarian, and it's currently 2013. And I have definitely grown as a raw lady here because I like to do these little fancy things, whereas before I was like completely against fancy things. But what I've learned is that there's actually not a big difference between making something look really average versus fancy. Like, for example, these molds that I've done. I don't know if you could see these. Like, and on this plate was like $8 at Winners. I don't know if you have a Winners, but so I'm kind of going on a tangent now, but what I'd like to really focus on is that this was really quite easy to do, and I just had that little mold that made it look fancy, and then I made raw white chocolates. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm the Rawtarian from therawtarian.com, and ciao.